This is going to be a video on my 100-watt Chinese CO2 laser engraver. Just going to show you what I did with my engraver to make my jobs easier for myself. So I'm going to start off by showing what I did for the chiller. They give you a cheap chiller that comes with a bucket. It's open. Dirt and everything can get in there, and it can get inside your tube and your thing. I didn't like that idea, so I just went ahead and I bought myself a chiller, and this makes all the difference in the world. One of the things when you hook up your chiller, what you want to do is you want to check your water lines, and you want to make sure they don't leak. But what I did notice, I noticed some of mine were leaking. So what I did is I replaced it with hose clamps. I wouldn't recommend replacing the hose clamps, the clamps that goes to your glass tube with metal clamps, because you'll probably break them. So if you notice, when you look inside the fiber laser, there's a clamp, there's a white clamp there, and mine was leaking from there when I turned the pump on. So what I did is I just put hose clamps on there, and that took care of the problem. Another thing that I did is I did not like their venting system that they had. It was very big and bulky, and so I kind of have a tight spot here. So I used their tubing that they gave me, and then on Amazon they provide a vent blower, and this one blows out a lot stronger than the one that you get from China. And what I did is I ran it to my window. I took a piece of plexiglass, cut a hole in there, and then I put a vent cover on there and tightened it up to there, and that took care of that problem there. One of the things that I did have is the vent cover that I bought on Amazon. The holes, they had like a critter screen on there, so to prevent critters from coming in through the vent tube. And the holes in that were very small, and a lot of them were plugged up. So when I turned the vent, it had a lot of backflow. So I wasn't getting the smoke that was inside my CO2 engraver was not being vented out very properly. So what I did is I took that critter screen off, and I went to Home Depot and I bought some, it's kind of like a fine chicken wire that they have there. I'll see if I can show it. You can see it right there. And what I did is I just cut it in the circle and then put it in there and replaced their critter one. And that took care of the problem, and the ventilation works awesome on this. And it comes with a switch here. And what I did is I just connected my vent to my Alexa, and so if I want to turn on my vent, I say, Alexa, turn on the vent. And there it goes, it turns on the vent for me. And you can hear the vent kicking in. Alexa, turn off the vent. And it turns off the vent. So now go to the laser engraver here, and I'm going to turn it on. So one of the things that I've noticed is that when I'm doing my work, the light that comes with it right there was not bright enough for me when I was doing my work here. So what I did is I took and I bought these covers here. You can see these covers, and they're LED light strip covers. They're aluminum, and then they come with this plastic here. And this one's a 45 angle. I figured that would work the best. That way the light wouldn't be shining in my eyes, it would be shining down in my project. And what I did is I took 3M double-sided tape and I cut them the size and I stuck them to the side. And my arms that move around doesn't hit them, or it doesn't obstruct anything that has to do with the laser. And I got this knob here to go up and down, and it doesn't obstruct that either. So what I decided to do is, they were saying the light that comes with it is a 24 volt. Well, in America we use 12 volt for the LED light strips. So I just bought a 12 volt LED light strip with a remote, and I wired it. I did not wire it to the machine. I just wired it straight to a plug. That way it's not attached to the machine or anything like that. I didn't want to connect it to the wires there because they're saying it's 24 volt and I didn't want to mess the system up, so I just ran it straight out the holes that they provide on the case here, and I just plugged it straight in. So I have this remote here, and I just use this to turn on and off my lights. So now you can see how much brighter it is. And like I said, the lights all aim downward, so it gives me all the light that I need. Another upgrade that I did was on my rotary here, my rotary tool. When you buy this certain one here, it does not come with this clamp. So what I did is I went online. It's a company called Roto Boss, and they provide this clamp here. So what I did is I bought their clamp from them, and what I had to do, you see the screw that's right there? I just had to do a little modification to that. I just grind it out just a little bit bigger so it would go over the screw, because it wasn't going over the screw. And then I was able to snap it down, and it works really well. And that's pretty much all the updates or upgrades that I did on this machine here. I liked it. I don't have any problems with it. It works extremely well with these modifications done to it. And if you have any questions, go ahead and make some comments and I'll answer your comments.